Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor in Paradise, which we have an episode tonight. We're towards the back end of the season, a lot of loose ends to tie up, but we're still talking about Brendan and the great unfollowing from 3 weeks ago. Can you believe it's been that long since then? Do me a favor, follow me in the great following on Instagram at DNeals, and don't forget, like this video and hit the subscribe button. I know you think I'm already subscribed. Double check. If you're not, hit the subscribe button as we inch our way to 100,000 subscribers. It's going to be great. Go to patreon.com/Dave Neal for other content. Yeah, this photo right here is from the breaking news we had last night that Brendan, this is actually a live shot of Brendan backpedaling from his initial apology. As we know, a lot of Bachelor Nation was left feeling enraged, disgruntled, one might say, from his comments on the show and his sort of defense of his in his apology statement. So because of that, there's been a lot of people talking. One lady was Deandra, and she had a tweet about Brendan, and we're going to get into that right here. We'll play the clip. We'll show you the tweet. I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe it's this tweet right here. It could be one of a few. The way Brendan is continuously shaming black women on this beach by insinuating they're undesirable makes me uncomfy. Hashtag Bachelor in Paradise. Demi response, you are beautiful inside and out. It sounds like a James Blunt song. And, all right, let's get back into it. So let's play the clip. And then after that, I'm going to play Natasha Parker talking with Denny Directo, which to me sounds like just a fake name you would make up if the cops pulled you over when you were in high school. But I digress. Here we go. Here's the clip talking with Mike and the other guy, Brian. Which I like their podcast. I think they do a really good job. So let's have a listen.
On the Natasha and Brendan aspect, we saw that you had tweeted out about, Brendan. First off, I love a woman who can call somebody out because I will call somebody out in a heartbeat myself, right? Mm-hmm. You called Brendan out for shaming black women. Can we unpack that a little bit?
Absolutely. So I have no personal vendetta with Brendan. I think that, again, from the jump, I've always been honest about the situation with him and Natasha. I have no personal beef. And it's crazy because on the beach, I was respectful to him. I communicated to him. But hearing the episode and hearing what he was talking about me and saying like, oh, Deandra's just angry because no one's talking to her. It's just crazy to me because why is it that when you're describing Demi, it's, oh, Demi's a character. Whatever you had to say about Jasenia was about Jasenia, whatever. But when it comes to me and Natasha, it's we're undesirable. No one's talking to them. Like, why is that the only comeback that you have for why we're acting the way that we are? It didn't really make sense. I'm like, it has to do something that's deeper than just like you talking shit about someone.
Why do you feel that is? Why do you feel that he can come at you and Natasha, but not someone else?
And that's what I'm trying to understand because I'm like, it has to be a deeper issue. Like, think about it. Of all the things that you could say as a response for if you wanted to talk crap about me, I'm sure there's plenty of other things. Oh, Deandra's just way too confrontational. Or Deandra's too aggressive. Like, you could have worded it in other ways, but it's Deandra's mad that no one's talking to her.
Not going to be good.
Like, the way that he worded it was so grimy to me. I'm like, why are you constantly trying to paint this picture that me and Natasha are just so undesirable on this beach?
With that damn sure ain't the truth.
Thank you.
At all. I think Brian and I both know that's not the truth.
Definitely not.
Brendan, that ain't
He's
the
an
truth,
idiot
bro. Like, that ain't the truth, homie.
Yeah, I mean, I think that hurts. Like, I'm not going to talk crap about someone and be like, well, they're just mad because no one on this beach is talking to them. I'm going to be like, well, they're just mad because they can't handle me and Piper really liking each other. Something like that. It's like, where does this insult come from? It just seems to be deeper rooted.
Yeah, I think that just goes to show his insecurity. And, he was just defensive in that situation. He snapped back to Marissa, and he was just being very snappy with you guys when it came to the question.
You better watch when you snapping to Marissa.
That's funny because if Riley was there,
come out.
If Riley was there, it would have probably been a different story.
I agree with that too.
A little bit less bass in his voice.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy is I feel like Marissa was talking to him more aggressively than I was, but it's crazy because he never mentioned anything about Marissa. And I wonder if it's because he's friends with Riley, so it's like, oh, I don't want to talk crap about your girl, but I'm going to talk crap about Deandra, who was respectful and honest with me, but okay, whatever.
All right, there you have it. So look, I mean, I'm not in a place where I can really put myself in someone else's shoes here, but it's a horrible place to wonder if Brendan's treating you differently because of either the color of your skin or the fact that you don't have a guy protecting you. So that's a big deal too. It's like if a man only respects a woman because his buddy's dating her, That's like saying, oh, like I respect women. I have a daughter. It's like, well, that's nice, but what about everyone else who has a daughter and a mom and an aunt and a sister? What about them? So maybe Brendan lacks like basic empathy that you could have for other people that maybe look different. I'm not really sure, but that's a good explanation of what Deandra is saying here. The way Brendan's continuously shaming black women, because he calls Demi a character, but me and Natasha undesirable. Now, this is why we need to have, like we could do whatever work we could do to try to piece between the lines of who said what. Got to get Brendan on these podcasts. Like he's got to come and talk. It's not going to get any worse for him unless he says some hard things. But I almost believe if he just talks to these people, every podcast, clickbait, this podcast, go on people's Instagram lives, talk to people about where you went wrong, hear them out, and you won't be the only person that sort of progresses from it, evolves, but then everyone who watches it gets to go, oh, I wasn't thinking about that. I've had so many people comment on my channel going, hey, Dave, I didn't know a thing about colorism until you played Rachel Lindsay's conversation about it, till you did some Googling and some discussion of it. And like, well, that's, first of all, that's not great that you never heard of it before, but that's better late than never. Like, let's have these conversations. So that's that. Let's go to Natasha. Of course, she's the true center of this story. And then just a quick unfollow. Brendan's still at 242. Natasha slowly rising here. Where's her Instagram? She is at 464. So she's inching her way to 500,000. Here's Natasha talking with Entertainment Tonight. Oh, they got the bad music on in the background. Let's see if we can get through this, or we'll just play a part of it.
At Paradise, which is an understatement. There's been a lot going on. What was your reaction when you were watching it back and seeing Brendan and Piper openly talking about their following and their followers and how Paradise would be a vacation?
I got a lot of followers, so you're welcome. Well, I did too, like almost 10,000.
That's insane that you have 10,000 followers.
Remember when I hit 70? I was like, oh, hit 70, whatever. I had like 78 something when I left.
The best part is like the amount of times your name is going to be brought up before you're on the show.
I was very surprised because for me, it was so much more than that for me personally. So, and of course I wasn't privy to any of those conversations. So I just knew what was going on between us, between Brendan and I. And of course I didn't know all the other side conversations. Just to hear, some of the hurtful things that he said when I feel like I had been nothing but so sweet to this man.
I was just getting so annoyed, bro.
I know.
And then, okay, let's continue. I was going to get out of it, but it's fun. It's kind of interesting to see this all played back again, because you do go like, man, I knew it was bad, and you watch it again, and you're like, yikes. By him, just, it's one thing to tell the whole crowd, I was annoyed by Natasha. It's another to tell the girl that you just brought on. You know what I mean? Like it's almost worse because it's being done kind of like when you think you're not being aired.
Surprised she's like still here.
All the little conversations that him and I have had about life, about love, about our families, all the deep things that we talked about was just for followers, was just to wait for this person to come. It just felt very empty. And I didn't think that's what that was. And it was like, okay, we have this emotional connection that I felt, that I thought he felt as well. And there were just things that I could feel that he was holding back. And I just thought that was because he wanted to take things slow, because he was, married before, and all these different things that he was telling me. And I didn't realize, because, you get on that beach and you don't have all the resources in the world that you have in normal life, right? So you just trust what someone says. And I really didn't think that he was waiting for Piper. And that was, that was stupid on my part.
I mean,
really.
How could you know? How could you know? Because it was clear to the audience, it was clear to me that he was downplaying his relationship with Piper. But do you feel like when you watched it back, he was downplaying his relationship with you?
100%. And he very much, in my opinion, wanted to get there. He talked about us not having a romantic relationship, but him and Demi had a romantic relationship, but he didn't want to give her the emotional part. Yeah. Me and him had an emotional,
but Demi jumped on him.
The romantic part, it's like he didn't want to, because he had already had strong feelings for someone else. And I get
he would have. I don't think he would have pursued Demi at all. Demi kind of jumped all over him, and I think. And again, this isn't Natasha's fault. This is that Natasha's sweet. She's kind. She gave Brendan space, thinking he needed to take it slow. And meanwhile, Brendan took advantage of that space by draining out the clock. That's really what it was. Can we put this story to bed? I think we're done with this story, right, guys? I mean, don't get me wrong. Maybe another influencer group will fire him. But, you know, and again, here's what's funny about the Nordic track part of this story is that they issued a statement saying, Brendan's not working with us again. No contracts. He doesn't, you know, we don't share the same values, X, Y, and Z. I don't think they were going to work with him again anyway, regardless of this scenario. I think he just shot a video for a one and done thing. I could be very wrong. I have no information to back this up. It's just funny. So like on Nordic's side, they're kind of virtue signaling in a way, but they're getting a lot of people saying, I'm going to Peloton. I don't support you if you support this guy. And they're like, hey, we gave him a bike a month and a half ago. This has nothing to do with us. We're not working with him again. So I kind of think it's one of those scenarios where it was a very easy decision for Nordic to be like, no, this isn't a thing. And their press was, they'd rather throw him under the bike, if you will, which of course, why not? Why not? It's not worth whatever couple bucks they were paying him. So here's a story. Oh, speaking of bikes, I actually didn't even make the comparison to the Nordic track bike that Brendan was riding to this. Here's Brendan on his bike saying, what do you mean? What do you mean the contract's over? It's like, all right, make a left-hand turn. You're going to park that thing. Here's a story in 2016. And again, this is just for, you know, resetting the palette here. In 2016, Flavia Oliveira ended the cycling race in 7th place. Even though that's the best place that Brazil ever got, almost no one, not even the Brazilian Cycling Confederation, appeared to celebrate the result with her. And then her cousin showed up. So this is just a feel-good video that I'm going to end this on. 4 o'clock live stream today. And then an after episode East Coast, after episode West Coast live stream. Enjoy this. Just have a watch. And I'm sorry, before I play this is a good example of people in different collective circles only appreciating winners, only appreciating verified people, only appreciating those that are on the top of the charts. And it's a reminder that talent, creativity, love, accomplishment, it exists all around us. Not just the top 10 on iTunes, not just the music you hear on the radio, but it exists all around us. Watch what happens here for the person who didn't win the race. We all need that guy as our hype man. You know what I mean? I didn't mean for the internet to go down here. Gosh, can we get some Spectrum internet here in Los Angeles? But this is just a good example of, like, you know, you're just there by yourself. People not recognizing, you know, especially in this race, what this person went through to get to where they were. And there they are, not thinking that there's any appreciation. And then what comes around the corner? But, you know, the biggest fan she'll ever have, her own family. And he's over there just drumming up people. It's almost over.
Sinistra, cara, tá sinistra! Tá sinistra, garota!
All right, little feel-good moment there. Continue to root each other on. It's not about winning the race. It's about being a part of the journey, all that cheesy stuff. We'll see you at the live stream. Bye, everybody.